All right, I've run out of patience. On to roost!
Hey everyone.
I can't believe it's been 10 years since Spider-Man first showed up in the MCU. A lot has happened with this version of Peter Parker, some good, some bad, and with the upcoming release of Brand New Day, I thought it'd be fun to look back at his first appearance in Captain America Civil War to see where it all started. The comic Civil War event features a Spider-Man who's many years into his superhero career, but for some reason he makes the ridiculous decision to reveal his secret identity to the whole world on live TV.
Not a great plan.
Of course, the movie goes a very different route, since they were introducing a much younger version of Peter Parker for the first time. We meet a Peter who's just starting out as Spider-Man, still using his rudimentary homemade suit and custom-designed web shooters. The discourse around MCU Spider-Man often centers around how he's bankrolled by Tony Stark and how Iron Man has an oversized role in his development as a hero. Now, these criticisms are very valid, but I think it's worth noting that Civil War does show Peter as the one who develops a lot of his Spider-Man persona. The iconography of Spider-Man was there before Tony ever came into the picture. Red and blue color scheme, check. Web shooters, check. Even the adjustable eye goggle technology was already developed by Peter for his homemade suit. Peter was always going to be a hero. He was always doing his part to help the city as Spider-Man. Iron Man just gave him the platform and, more importantly, the confidence to take his superhero journey even farther. One thing that always stands out to me in this scene is just how efficiently they set up Peter's character. He lives in Queens, obviously, with his Aunt May as his sole guardian. We learn that he's a dumpster diver who builds computers, which establishes that he's a broke, down on his luck kid, but he's also highly intelligent and resourceful, particularly when it comes to building tech. Being both a super genius and a perpetual broke boy are core tenets of his character, but perhaps the most important of them all is his sense of responsibility. When Tony asks him why he chooses to be a hero, he replies with, "When you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you." With the powers he has from the spider bite, he has the unique ability to stop bad guys, save people from impossible situations, and if he chooses not to, then all the consequences fall on his shoulders. I always found this wording of the great responsibility line to be pretty interesting, showing the maturity that Peter had even at this young age. Arguably, it's some of the most maturity he shows in all his MCU appearances. I've also thought that having this convo play out with Iron Man was smart and serves Tony's character as well. Both Tony and Peter begin their decision to be heroes out of guilt. Peter for letting Uncle Ben die, and Tony for all the civilians that were killed as a result of Stark weapons being used in wars. In a way, both characters initially try to be heroes as a way to atone for their past sins, or sins past.
We don't do that here.
Now I just gotta bring up that a while back Joe Russo came out and said that MCU Peter isn't responsible for Uncle Ben's death, and he doesn't blame himself for Uncle Ben's death. According to Mr. Russo, he says that if he blamed himself for Uncle Ben's death, I think he would become a very different character. So in our minds, no, he wasn't responsible for Uncle Ben's death. That would have been a very different interpretation, a more intense interpretation of the character. Now, this just confirms to me that a lot of the creators behind MCU Spider-Man do not understand or even really respect Spider-Man as a character at all. Like, what the fuck do you mean he would become a very different, darker character? He would just become Spider-Man. The guilt he feels for Uncle Ben's death is the driving force for him to learn responsibility and become a hero. You can change a lot of things in adaptations, but this is literally just the impetus for his whole journey. It's literally the core of the character. I bring this up here because it completely contradicts Peter's line in Civil War. Like, he clearly has some understanding of with great power comes great responsibility, so I and everyone else just assumed that this lesson was as a result of losing Uncle Ben due to his own inaction, as it should be. Until I see some concrete evidence of Uncle Ben and who he was to Peter in the MCU, I'ma just ignore this take from Joe Russo. Like, bro, never cook again. Uncle Ben should never really be optional in a Spider-Man story. Making him a non-factor in Peter's origin is like having Batman's parents die of old age or something instead of crime. Or like for Superman having Krypton just not explode. Krypton's just perfectly fine. It just wouldn't make sense for the character. The MCU from the beginning seemed to be on a mission to like skirt around Uncle Ben and pass his role onto other characters, especially Aunt May, and some would even say Iron Man as well. Like I said, I won't view Joe Russo's take as canon until proven otherwise, and I think the actual writing of Civil War establishes Ben's legacy and how it affects Peter without being too obvious. As far as Iron Man goes, I always viewed him as more of a reinforcement to the great responsibility message rather than its original arbiter. I also think it makes sense why Tony would connect so much with this version of Peter and see him as a protege. The story idea of Peter being Tony's mini-me project is not something I'm a huge fan of, especially how it's executed in the Home trilogy, but I'm not gonna lie, I think the setup for something really interesting with that dynamic was there and was set up well in Civil War. This scene also gives gives us sneak peeks of Peter using his powers and lets us know how fiercely he wants to protect his secret identity, making sure that Aunt May doesn't find out.
Don't tell Aunt May.
Now we get to the airport fight. As a kid, this scene had me geeked, and as an adult, it's still cool as hell. I'm sorry, it's just so tough. Yes, the color palette is muted and kind of gray, kind of washed out. Yes, it's the cinematic equivalent of smashing together all your action figures, but I don't care, it's still peak. It's just such a fun scene, and Spider-Man works so well as part of the Avengers ensemble. Nowadays, everyone wants Spider-Man to go back to being a lone wolf, having solo stories featuring his own supporting characters from his own mythology. Make Spider-Man be by himself again is apparently what people want, and by people, I mean me. I am people. I too am sick of this like team up shit every single movie, but you gotta remember that back in the mid-2010s, Spider-Man was basically on the sidelines watching all the Avengers characters having fun. Every fan wanted so badly for Spider-Man, probably Marvel's most iconic character, to join the party that was the MCU, so when it finally happened, of course the creators were going to go all out. Of course they were going to play it up. It's just like adding a new toy that you've always wanted into your toy box and like integrating them into the stories that you tell. You couldn't cook up a more MCU coded character reveal than Spider-Man teaming up with Iron Man and taking Cap's shield. This moment has cemented itself as one of the most iconic images of Spidey and one of the most iconic moments in the whole MCU. The suit is also super clean. Up to this point, I say that they were 4 for 4 with the live action Spider-Man suits. I love the adjustable eye tech, the visible web shooters, the small spider logo too. I really like the black lines as well. I think they give the suit a nice cohesive look while breaking up the red and blue. Normally the webs would help bring this dimension to the suit, but they chose not to go with the raised webbing, which to be honest, I don't really mind. The suit just looks so bright and comic booky, and it really just pops on the screen. I honestly just wish they kept the suit for all of his MCU appearances, but I guess they gotta sell toys. So Peter is on Team Iron Man. Unlike in the comic, I don't really have any problem with this. He's just recruited to fill out the ranks on the team like a kid that's like picked last for dodgeball, rather than being there for ideological reasons. His fight with Sam and Bucky is our first real showcase of his powers, and it's pretty awesome. We see his web slinging, his super strength, his wall crawling, and very important, he has spider sense.
Oh god. Hey buddy, I think you lost this.
I don't know why the later movies act like spider sense is some weird, unique ability he has to unlock and like learn how to control like some skill tree shit. In the first fight we ever see him in, he's shown using his spider sense just fine.
Hungry? Oh, so sorry. I thought that you could sense that with your Peter tingle.
Please do not start calling it my Peter tingle. Oh no, this is horrible!
Tom Holland's Peter is really naive and can be a bit childish, which some people have a problem with, but for me, I love the youthful energy that he brings to both Peter and Spider-Man. Any problems that I have with MC Spider-Man, and trust me, I have a lot of them, usually it comes down to how he's written, never Tom's acting. I think he's great here, especially as Spider-Man. I love all of his interactions with the other heroes during the fight. Like I said, he's naive, but he's also confident in himself and his abilities. He holds his own against literal Avengers, and he even helps take down Ant-Man. His fight with Cap is pretty good, and their interaction after is really wholesome.
You got hard, kid. Where you from?
Queens?
Brooklyn.
Now, I don't know if Cap knew that Spidey had super strength, so he basically just dropped this huge ass crate on a kid. A Captain America attempted child murderer, question mark? Anyway though, I honestly think you couldn't ask for a better MCU debut when it comes to Spider-Man. Already in his first appearance, we get some cool Spider-Man action scenes, against fellow heroes no less. We get a suit design that lives up to the previous suits while also feeling distinct and fitting the MCU aesthetic. I really like Tom Holland in the role, and I think he did a great job both in the hype action scenes and in the quieter character moments. I honestly think Civil War gives us one of the most well-realized, mature, and fun Spider-Man appearances in his entire MCU run. But what do you think? How do you feel about Captain America Civil War 10 years later? Does its Spider-Man introduction still hold up? Let me know. If you like the video, and consider subscribing to the channel. I got a lot more movies and media I want to make videos on, including more Spider-Man, so stick around if you're interested. Thanks for watching. It's your boy XO Dash, signing out.